Well, hello everyone. Good Monday evening. It is November 28th. Where has the year gone? Hope that everyone's doing well. I hope that everyone had a good Thanksgiving. This is going to be a very brief drive time dialectic. Mostly it's an announcement. Not one. Just a reminder to head over to my Subscribe Star and click on a level of support there, because everything that I take in between now and the end of January, 15% of that's going to go over to Dana Stevens for her probate attorney fund, and that includes YouTube earnings, Subscribe Star earnings, and any merchandise that I sell. And if you're one of those people who, like a couple of dear friends of mine, have already given 100 personally to Dana to her Give Send Go, you will get $15 credit, basically a bag of coffee for that effort. And once again, any purchases or any merchandise that you buy, 15% of that also goes to Dana as well. Very good cause for her. The other one is that my co-host on Navigating the Deep Woods, Christine, she has decided, and I think it's a good move on her part, after having managed a campaign for the better part of the completely applaud and recognize it being a good decision for her, especially when she's got youngins at home to take care of. Now she doesn't have to corral Ashley Klingbeil anymore. She can corral her children instead. Love you, Christine. I don't know which one's going to be harder to corral, your children or Ashley. But so she is going to take a step back. Navigating the Deep Woods is still going to be a thing, still going to be going on. I am working on having a special guest on for Navigating the Deep Woods after the Republican Central Committee meets. They are getting ready to unseat Chairman Hahn of the Minnesota GOP. He is a complete and utter failure. He's a complete and utter shill. And the only difference between him and Jen Carnahan is that he's not openly as vitriolic and ignorant and mean and evil as Jen Carnahan was. And no, I don't owe her a bit of empathy, considering how she's treated the people of Minnesota in the Minnesota GOP in particular. So, that being said, what's the next big announcement? Well, Minnesota is the state that it's a gift that keeps on giving. Back in April 25th, 2020, when I launched the channel, I had people that I worked with, former co-workers at the Sheriff's Office in Olmsted County, asked me, what are you going to do when all of this ends? What are you going to talk about if you're not talking about lockdowns, if you're not talking about mask mandates, when you're going to, jab mandates and all that? What are you going to talk about, TC? And ultimately, it is a gift that keeps on giving. There's always going to be some sort of public servant malfeasance, some sort of public appointed or elected public servant misconduct or tyranny or despotism, whatever you want to call it. The autocrats, the technocrats, the oligarchs, they're, in Minnesota in particular, love to keep cracking down on the people, right? Well, after the resounding spanking that the Minnesota GOP received at the hands of the DFL here in Minnesota on election night, and yeah, that's what it was. It was a complete and utter embarrassment to the Minnesota GOP. Like, if you people who are still loyal to the GOP don't pull your heads out of your collective derrieres and realize that nobody's watching out for you, you're in trouble. Now, I know, I have it on good authority that Mike Murphy, I mean, you all know this, Mike Murphy is running for chair of the Minnesota GOP. I don't know how I feel about that, quite frankly, after the convention. But he might be our last hope for the Minnesota GOP. I like Mike, got a lot of respect for him, profound amount of respect. He's always been good to me, warm and welcoming. So I have a lot of respect. But I just don't know that the Minnesota GOP can be saved. So I'm working on having a guest on who is going to be at that convention And so what I am going to do is I'm going to bring them on to find out how it went in their personal insight into the Central Committee meeting as they seek to replace Chairman Hahn. The other part of the announcement is that not only is Christine stepping down and navigating the Northwoods is going to continue, but I'm also going to be launching a Rumble exclusive series with a friend. We're going to be bringing on military veterans who have been affected by the VA hospital system and a certain set of protocols that were in place there for veterans. And we're also going to be doing another portion of interviews with people who have also been affected by kind of the same things. That's going to be on Rumble only because YouTube hates it. They like to give me strikes for it. So we're going to be having that conversation with a lot of people forward. And so that's in the works. Because I've got so many things in the works right now, I'm taking at least this week off from Monday, TC and Friends Monday Night Musings. I'm working lining up some guests. I'm working on some conversations. I'm working on some things. And so I really want you guys to know and understand that it takes time, you know, and some of my close friends, my close supporters, people who subscribe, follow me here on YouTube and on Twitter and over on Getter and whatnot. You guys know that I don't just, even though I speak extemporaneously, it takes a lot of work. It's a lot of research. It's a lot of digging. It's a lot of talking. It's a lot of asking questions. I'm going to take the week off. I'm taking the week off from like long form interviews, long form conversations, long form stream. I might put up a couple of more short videos over the next week. I might put up a couple of videos next week if I choose to take another week off. But I want you guys to know that Minnesota is going to continue giving us content. One of the things that I want you guys to be watching for is the talk right now about the tridemic. Right now, there are people out there beating the drum of lockdowns for RSV, influenza, and the COOF. And they're saying, especially in children, that pediatric beds are at 78% capacity. The medical system cannot handle the coming swelling ranks of people needing to be hospitalized for this mix of tragedies that's happening. And there is talk of another round of lockdowns in some states. People are talking about what it's going to look like to shut down, out of their jobs and going back to the essential workers thing. I'm not kidding you, folks. If you don't believe me, I can't show you right now. I can't share anything. But if you don't believe me, the truth is it's out there. They are talking about it. They are getting ready to do it. And if you're in Minnesota or California, they want to do it again. They want to make sure that, I'm not going to say it's definitely going to happen, but you do need to be on the watch, folks. If it happens, you have no one to blame. And for my strong, stalwart, libertarian type friends, liberty-minded friends, paleo-conservative friends, Misakis friends, I'm not saying you guys personally, but as a whole, because even though I wasn't a big fan of Scott Jensen, he was definitely better than Tim Walz. Tim Walz is itching to punish Rocks and Cows for daring to vote against him. He's itching for it. So be on the watch. Be on the lookout. And you need to have a game plan in your mind right now of what you're going to do to resist this garbage. None of you should be sitting back right now and saying, I don't know what we're going to do if the tridemic happens and they force the COOF measures on us again. You should all be prepared for, in your mind, what you're going to do to stand up to kind of tyrannical thinking again and how you're going to encourage people. I was just having this conversation with some people tonight. The biggest issue is Minnesotans have proven, even the big talkers, for the most part, not all, but for the most part, the vast majority of people in Minnesota talk big about their conservatism and their love for liberty, but they will not stand up because they're afraid to be discomforted. You don't like it? Too bad. It's the way it is. The reason I say that is because I watched through 2020 and 2021 as most of you sheepishly complied. don't like it, prove me wrong. There again, I can't guarantee you that we're going to see some lockdowns and mask mandates here in Minnesota again, but it sure is being signaled that they're very much interested in doing it again to us because of the tridemic: RSV, influenza, and the COOF. My friends, Minnesota politics, Minnesota GOP, Minnesota DFL, Minnesota power players, they are a gift that keeps on giving. The channel's not going anywhere. I'm just taking a break. So, until my friends next time, fight for your liberty, it's yours. Fight for your freedom, it belongs to you. And Sic Semper Tyrannis.